Yes, who remembers that? It's JRR Hartley here. Excuse me a minute, I've got a very important call to make. Hello, yes, I'm looking for a copy of How to Do Up Your Own Fly by JRR Hartley. Yes. Well, the reason I'm looking for it is that it's been many years now since I've been able to do up my own fly, because I'm getting a bit old and decrepit. And I think the book would be very helpful. Yes, if you could find... Oh, you do? You do? That's wonderful. Where are you? Timbuktu. Okay, I'll be right over. I'm cycling, so I may be a couple of months. We'll see you very shortly. Anyway, thank you so much. You've made my year. Well, what luck, ladies and gentlemen. They have a copy in the local bookshop in Timbuktu of the wonderful book, How to Do Up Your Own Fly by JRR Hartley. Me. I can't believe I wrote it and then forgot how to do it, but that's the way the memory goes when you get old. Lovely to be here with you. And I've got Toki's back from his walkabout earlier, and I don't know if you can see him here, but we thought it would be terrible weather, because it's always terrible weather when we go fishing. We don't really go fishing, by the way. I'm just pretending. I don't know anything about this, so don't pick me up on any factual errors, folks. The real fishermen out there have already been picked up on one, actually, and that's just from the picture. It's not a fly fishing reel I was using, apparently. I'm a total idiot when it comes to fish. Anyway, what I do know about is weather. I know that it's usually raining. It's usually pouring rain in Scotland here. So we've got homemade waterproof for Toki. We've got the umbrella, and we've got a nice flask of hot coffee to take with us here on our musical trip, our musical fishing trip. He's loving the costumes. He loves this one. This one actually only took 30 seconds to make, but it looks very professional. It looks professional. We may use this as a walking coat when it rains. Now, yes, oh, I've got a quick word about last week's show, where we had special guest Brandy Sequin, the wonderful drag queen from, from the United States. Well, amazingly, despite the way I was dressed and the fact I couldn't stop twiddling with my boobies, and all the ridiculous things I was saying, nobody complained about that at all. What they did complain about, though, was the singing, not the singing itself, but the choice of songs. No, I managed to choose two of the most offensive songs for women out there. Yes, Brandy, my theme song, is so outdated. It was from 1972, I think. I was actually only 3 at the time, so I can't be excused. Yes, it was so outdated. It had the famous chorus line in it, was, "Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be." Oh yeah, and that was very patronising to women. And true enough, I did reply to Linda, who commented on that even though it was a terrible shame that by the end of the song she never married any of those sailors that she was serving in the bar, but at least if she was still working in the bar in that Western Harbour town all these years later, she's maybe still able to do their dishes, because she's still serving them, even if she's not able to wash their socks, which she would be doing, of course, if she'd married them. So that was, and the other one was Delilah. It was just a random pick. Sorry, I'm not even going to go there. Anyway, apologies for that. The songs this week are much better. I can't promise they'll be sung any better. Anyway, it's a fishy theme. There's something fishy going on with the show this week, and oh, I think we'll give him a little fish-shaped bone. There we go. Oh, delicious. I think I'll stick around for the rest of the show. Now, I've actually got the whole hog here and got the welly boots on, so look at that. I'll see if we can get some dancing with wellies in later on. But first of all, we're going to start with a fish. Now, the first of many fish name tunes. It's the Dance of the Rogue Salmon, or Dansa Vraten Roig, as they say in Gaelic, or as they don't, probably. But this is by the fabulous Phil Cunningham, of course. I've never actually played this before, so wish me luck. And again. Sorry, didn't mean to scare you there, Toki, with that big corn at the end there. Did you see him jump there? Oh yes. Woo, don't worry, we'll train you to get used to that. You'll be like a war dog. You'll be able to go into like accordion war zones. You won't be scared by loud chords. That was lovely Dance of the Rogue Salmon by Phil Cunningham there. Or a version of it. I was making up bits of it as it went along, but it sounded pretty much in places like the original thing. And yeah, speaking of drag queens, last week, Brandy, oh god, the Freudian slip there. Last week, yes, special guest Brandy. I've been meeting some other queens in the last couple of weeks. I was up with my friend Peter Brady. Not I'm suggesting that he's a queen. Far from it. A lowly serf, if anything. But no, he keeps bees. He's got into beekeeping. Can't remember if I mentioned this on the show before. I'm always talking about Pete Brady. He gets far too many mentions. But yes, he's got these bees and they keep running away from him. It's called swarming. I don't really understand about it, but I'm starting to get to grips with it because he keeps telling me about it. And basically, half the hive of bees, they disappear one day. They just go, right, we're off. We're going to start another one, and they go like into a neighbour's tree or something and start to build a new hive there. And then they have to be rescued by the beekeeper. I'm not quite sure, a pair of tweezers taking each of 1,000 individual bees into a very big jar or something, and then he takes them back, but they don't want to go back into the original hive, so you have to build them a new hive. And then sometimes in the new hive, after a week or two, they get bored there, and half of them decide to disappear again, so they keep splitting off and keip having to get more hives, and you start with one and you end up with millions. I guess that's just how the beekeeping keeps going. It's self-replicating. Anyway, I was actually there in full purple bee suit. I don't know why it was purple, don't ask me, it just was. And Peter's very short compared to me, so the suit only came up to sort of just halfway down the calves, but luckily the little bees didn't go down that far looking for stinging territory. And yeah, very interesting. We opened up the hives and we looked at the honey, what do you call them, racks? Oh god, I can't even remember the names of them. Anyway, it was wonderful. And there was no honey, well there was a little bit, but not enough to get. And then I was back up there for lunch on Friday a week later, and there was honey, and you know what, it was just enough to give to the neighbour whose tree they'd gone into and who'd called Peter to come and rescue him, and apparently that was enough to deserve all the honey for this year, and there was none left for poor me, but I did get a little teaspoonful to taste, which was absolutely delicious. But it was so small, it was only the work of one bee probably, so maybe next time we'll get a taste of 2 or 3 bees worth. Absolutely great. Anyway, speaking of bees and flying insects, I also had a run-in this week with some wasps over at my ex-wife's house, where there was not one but 2 wasps' nests, one in the shed where I keep all my tools, and one in the loft. And I decided to attack both of them simultaneously with wasp powder, and they decided to attack me simultaneously with the entire armada of wasps from both hives. And I was stung 4 times, and it's very, very sore. And after the pain dies down, which is about 24 hours, it's very itchy for about the rest of the week. So yeah, woe is me. It's the first time I've been stung since I was a small child. When I used to get stung an awful lot, I think wasps and bees love small children, because I remember getting stung a lot, or maybe it's just big in my memory. Anyway, better get on with the show. For those of you who don't know what on earth's going on, JRR Hartley is one of the wonderful, nostalgic television adverts from back in the blurry days of television before high definition, and cathode ray tubes. Bet you youngsters don't even know what a cathode ray tube is. Probably something from Flash Gordon. Oh, we shall destroy the earth with a cathode ray tube. No, it was just an old television. But they were much bigger then. They were bigger and less flat and fuzzy. And it was the Yellow Pages. Yes, Yellow Pages had these wonderful adverts with a theme tune I played at the beginning. And JRR Hartley was looking all around the country on the phone using the Yellow Pages for a copy of this book, Fly Fishing by JRR Hartley. It's actually, and then he says, who is it for? When he finally finds a shop that's got one, he says, it's JRR Hartley, so it's him that wrote it. Such a wonderful, wonderful little story and 30-second advert. And there's another one where there's the kids looking at getting a new bike, and they pass the shop window with the daddy goes, oh, you don't want that, it's got, look at this saddle and that, it's like a razor blade. And of course he secretly buys it using the Yellow Pages to find the phone number of the shop. You don't need to worry about this now, kids, you just Google it. And of course the kid's delighted, and the advert ends with the father looking round the curtain of the window as the child tucks away, and he goes, oh, we're right about that saddle though. And yes, I've got a saddle like that, very much. Still recovering from a cycle 3 days ago. Must get, note to self, must buy gel saddle this week. Okay, what's next? We have got, oh, Salmon Tails Up the Water. This is a great tune. This is a little polka. Salmon Tails Up the Water. I haven't played that for ages. I used to play that in the 30 years ago, believe it or not, in the Panama band, which was one of the early ceilidh bands I was in, run by Ian Hewitt, wonderful mustachioed pipe smoking drummer, and the pipe would never leave the mouth. Even he would play all through the night, he'd still be wedged in there, absolutely steady as a rock. Not sure his drumming was, but anyway, a wonderful chap. And there was also Pete Clark, who I've mentioned before in the show. I was on fiddle, and the wonderful what's his name now? Noel Chidwick, who bizarrely, after all these years, I bumped into on one of my cycle rides recently up in Craic when he was out for a walk with a wife. And Noel is now running a sci-fi website called Horizon of Infinity, something like that. Anyway, I joined it. It's brilliant. The chance meeting in the woods meant that I signed up to his, after all these years, signed up to his sci-fi website. I love sci-fi. And the other player in the band, and this is very appropriate, it's a nice segue, was Mr. Graham Dixon from Northumberland. And Graham Dixon still lives in Pathead. Wonderful chap, and he plays the Northumbrian pipes, or as I call it, the Game Boy. Beep boop boop beep boop beep beep beep. Terribly rude about the Northumbrian pipes. I know, a lovely instrument if you like that kind of thing. And Graham has researched and brought out several books of music, the music of James Hill, who I've mentioned on this show before as well. The famous hornpipe writer and fiddle player and alcoholic from Northumberland, well, he's from Scotland originally. Yeah, that kind of gave it away, his incredible talent and his alcoholism. They're both very Scottish trademarks. the boys, the lads like beer. The lads like beer. That's the name of a tune, but one of his tunes. But it's the name of one of the books that Graham did. Anyway, Graham's from Northumberland, and of course, in Tyneside, they have a wonderful little song about fishes, which I'm going to sing for you now. Ha ha! You thought you were going to escape the singing this week? No, I'm just going to lower myself. There we go. Okay. Yes, I'm going to lower myself in many ways by singing a song. Now, what tune did I suggest for this? Sorry, just give me a second. Come here, my little Jackie, now I've smoked me baccy. Let's have a bit of cracky till the boat comes in. Dance to thy daddy, sing to thy mammy. Dance to thy daddy, to thy mammy, sing. Thou shalt have a fishy on a little dishy. Thou shalt have a fishy when the boat comes in. Here's my mother coming like a canny woman. Yonder comes thy father drunk, he cannot stand. Yeah. Dance to thy daddy, sing to the mammy. Dance to the daddy, to the mammy, sing. Thou shalt have a fishy on a little dishy. Thou shalt have a haddock when the boat comes in. Last verse, I've missed out quite a lot because it went on and on. Same kind of theme, lots of drinking. May we get a drop, oft as we stand in need, and we'll make the keel row that brings the bairns their breed. I didn't get the meter for that right at all, did I? Never mind. Dance to thy daddy, sing to thy mammy. Dance to thy daddy, to the mammy, sing. Thou shalt have a fishy on a little dishy. Thou shalt have a salmon when the boat comes in. Wow, that's going to be Eurovision's entries next year, isn't it? That's just amazing, amazing. What a creative and catchy new version there of When the Boat Comes In. I hope you like the accent there. I was actually singing in a Geordie accent there as well. Now, at the very last verse, it mentions, I don't know if you could understand any of that, but it says, may we get a drop, oft as we stand in need, and we'll may the keel row that brings the bairns their breed. And the keel was the kind of ship that they used to take out to do the fishing in Tyneside there. And the row, apparently spelled row, R-O-W, was the big oar that they used to keep the boat steady in bad weather, which, if the weather's anything like up here in Scotland a little bit further up, is very necessary. So the keel row is actually also the name of a well-known tune from, well, both Tyneside and Scotland claim it, and it's like Berwick and Tweed. Both countries have claimed it many times over the years. Been fighting over it. They've been fighting over these border cities and these border tunes as well. So the keel row, I thought this was a wonderful segue. Do you see how many segues I've done already today? It's incredible. I'm going to play the tune, the keel row now, which is another wee simple tune, but it's very catchy. Yes, it's catchy. It's catchy. Just made up that variation. Wow, it's amazing. I was just thinking there as I was playing, Toki's just doing so well with his little new protective raincoat. He loves it, don't you, pal? Don't it? It's a little bit rustly. Yeah. Don't know if you could be a war dog without rustling. We need to get one that doesn't rustle so much if you're going to sneak into enemy lines. I was just thinking though, this would be great. It's like he's carrying his own poop bag with him, so you can just cut off little bits of it to pick up his poop while you're out in the street. And of course, eventually the raincoat gets too short. But start with extra large, and a pair of scissors. Save a fortune on poo-poo bags. Great idea. Anyway, how about a bone for the doggy? Because you've been so good there. He doesn't have to stay through the whole show. He just likes it. He loves the accordion music. He's mad for it. He's mad for it. Right, here's another fishy tune. This one's written by a friend of mine, the wonderful Alan MacDonald, who's an incredible piper, Gaelic singer, local celebrity, great whiskey aficionado, and what else does he do? Oh, he plays the jazz harp amazingly as well. He's a man of many talents. I haven't seen him for ages anyway. He's also got a fantastic moustache. We might shave that off. Anyway, I should really have got a moustache for today, didn't I? No, I missed out there. Never mind. Check out this though. Oh my god! Yeah, it all fell out. No, I shaved this in a moment of madness a few nights ago in lockdown fever, and I gave myself my own lockdown haircut. Look at that. With it was actually with a beard trimmer. That was the longest setting I could find, and that's grown back a bit. So, yes, things you do when you're bored. Anyway, this is called Buntata Iskaten. This is a tune that Alan wrote. He's a composer. That's what he is as well, a composer. Fabulous composer. In fact, he's got like 2 books of tunes out. And this is probably one of his most played tunes in the sessions anyway. Buntata Iskaten, which is tatties and herring in the Gaelic. So it goes like this. Fast one, wasn't it? Oh yes, Toki, that was a fast one. Buntata Iskaten, and that was fish tune number 4. How many fish tunes are there? I actually found enough for the whole show, but I'm sure there's many more out there. I'm going to play another quick one. Well, it's actually a slow one. I'm going to play it quickly because I've got to get back to my fishing line, which you can see behind me. It's being fishing out the window. The line, you can't see it, but the line. God, I didn't know man's strength. Tied that on too tightly. Seriously, I can't get that off. That's a disaster. Oh, I have to wait for the coffee. So maybe it's something to do with the heat, seized it or something. Yeah, I've got a fishing line. You can't see it, but it's leading outside. I'm just going to see if I can catch any interesting passers-by. We'll check out the window in a minute or so. But before then, I'm going to play a little tune which is called Balach and Iasgach in the Gaelic, which means the fisher lads, Balach, and Iasgach. Iask is a fish in Gaelic. I don't believe this. I have to send this back. I wonder if it's got a fancy lid. Right, anyway, get on with the show. So here it is. Just a little waltz. Lovely. Just a nice little filler. I'll wait for the coffee lid to cool down enough that I can open it. Alach an Iascach. Well, I wonder if we should check our line and see if there's anything interesting hooked outside. Let's see. Outside the window. Shall we see what's outside the window, Toki? Now, this means being my own cameraman, of course, excuse for the shaky hold. I'd like to blame on too much coffee, but as you know, I've not managed to get it open. Oh, there's somebody out there. Look, who's that? It looks like a fisherwoman. My goodness, is that a fisher wifey?
Hello.
Hello there.
I'm Mrs. Flucker from New Haven.
Oh, what a very pleasant flucker you are. I have to say that very carefully. Mrs. Flucker now, Miss
Tucker.
And this is Tucker. That's Mrs. Flucker and Tucker. Well, this is Tucker meet Toki. Now, Toki's got his little bib on because he's a messy eater. No, this is his raincoat.
Oh, right.
Say hello.
Hello, Toki. We brought
because
a present for Toki.
oh, hello there, Tucker.
Some salmon bites.
Oh, salmon bites. This is your lucky day, Toki. Now, this is the first time that anybody's brought a present for you. Look at that. He likes the salmon.
Oh. You're having problems with your tackle.
Oh, I've often had problems with my tackle.
A lovely sea bass, freshly caught.
Oh my
this
God,
morning.
that's fantastic! Thank you so much. Look at that. That is a. Oh, I can smell it. If only I had scratch and sniff TV on this. That is amazing. Thank you so much. I'll put this out of Toki's way. Look, she's got a fisher's basket and everything. Now, I think Mrs. Flucker was actually a real person, wasn't she?
Yeah, I've got fly fishing bits attached to my handbag.
Oh, if your handbag's full of money, just hand it all over. Don't worry, and I'll detach them myself.
And then that's a little a fresh fruity
Oh
wine.
my
to
God,
go
this is great! I must invite more people round to perform in the window space. That's fantastic. Thank you so much.
So,
By the way, Mrs. Flucker's real name is Katrina, and she's one of. Oh right. Well, her name is not Katrina, and she's incognito.
I had to walk up the street like this.
Oh.
Who's the guy in the van? I don't normally dress like this.
They all dress like that in Leith. Aye. Yes, the van she's talking about is the Sky van who's putting in a new antenna or something in the neighbour's flat. So if the picture goes fuzzy, blame it on Sky. Now you're armed there with a tambourine and everything, and you're secured to your own dog, so you won't be blown away into the ocean. You naughty little Tucker.
Yeah, so we found Fishing Blues by Henry Thomas.
Fantastic.
He used to play the guitar with panpipes attached.
Wow, I'm so glad I missed that. Yeah.
I'm going to try and do the panpipes and my trumpet in a minute.
Oh, that's amazing.
But I thought I'd just sing you the tune first.
That's lovely, that's lovely. Thank you. We'll have a little rendition. I don't know the song.
Number.
Brilliant.
Okay. Went up the hill about 12 o'clock. Reached right back, one got me a pole. Hang on, here's my pole.
Oh my God, this is fantastic.
Went to the hardware and got me a hook. Attached that line right on that hook. Says you've been a fishing all of the time. I'm a gonna fishing too. I bet your life, your loving wife can catch more fish than you. Any fish bites if you've got good bait. Here's a little something I would like to relate. Any fish bite if you got good bait. I'm a gonna fishing, yeah, I'm a gonna fishing. I'm a gonna fishing too. Forgot my tambourine.
Oh, that was brilliant. Well, it's coming in now. It's coming in now.
Right, we'll put that down.
That is fantastic.
I'll get my horn. I use that to bring
Oh
the sea
my
bass
God.
into shore.
Here's me with a problem with my tackle, and you bring your own horn.
But there's the
Wait a minute. We did the Heidi High 1 week ago. We can't do that again.
There's the chorus.
Oh God! Don't make me join in. I'm a terrible singer. Anything? What's it?
See if I can remember the picture.
Right. Okay. Wow. Look at this. That is Tucker singing along. That is Tucker howling along. Oh my God, that is amazing, Mrs. Flucker. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I didn't sing along there. I didn't know where to come in, but
That's
to be honest, the audience were enjoying me not singing.
Ready.
That was,
Bye,
that was
everyone.
amazing trumpet playing. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll see you in a wee while once the show's over if you want to hang around.
Okay, we'll come and visit you.
Okay,
Mr.
thank
Hartley.
you. We'll be out in a minute.
Bye-bye.
Wasn't that amazing, Toki? Goodbye, Mrs. Flucker.
Bye, Mr. Hartley.
When I put up a little advert this morning for today's show, I put JRR Hartley. You know, I managed to change that. Look at that fish again, once again. Fishy for me, and little scrumptious baked salmon fish bites for Toki. That was so kind of her. Wow, yeah, these are for you, pal. We'll open them. Yeah, when I did the sign up, the advert, I wrote JRR Hartley. That's the guy that does, JRR is the guy that does Game of Thrones, isn't it? Yeah, idiot. No, it's just JR Hartley. So you think you remember these things exactly, but you don't. Your memory changes things over the years. And that's why I always have a co-host to keep me right. Now, what's left in the show? Not much. Oh, yes there is. This is lovely. I thought I could get away with sitting in the stern of a boat. Reclining, that is. Sitting in the stern of a boat. Because it's not got fish in the title, but of course you would be in a little boat with your fishing rod. Oh, by the way, did you notice the giant fishing rod behind me there? That's my stepson's. I borrowed that. I don't actually have a fishing rod myself. Actually, I do. I've got a small one. I'll tell you a story about that in just a minute. But it's a collapsible one. It's just over there. That's why I'm pointing over there. Anyway, here in the meantime, you'll have to wait for that story. Aha! Is sitting in the stern of a boat. Enjoying that, Toki, weren't you? That was Sitting in the Stern of the Boat by the Reverend MacLeod, if I remember. Now, can we get the top off this coffee? That's the important thing before the show ends. There's only oh yes, I managed it. Wow, excellent. The fisherman It's not going to go thirsty. Oh, look at that steaming hot coffee. It's real coffee. See the length I've gone to for the props today. Ooh. Oh, that's nice. Yes, yes. It's like one of your salmon treats, Toki. Now, just a couple of... Oh, yes, he would. I think he likes salmon treats. Oh, yum. Now, there's only a couple of tunes left, but let me tell you about the fishing incident that happened a few years ago. I have banned, of course, the Ceilidh band, the sensational Jimmy Shandrick's experience, which I have played many tracks from on this very show. But once, many years ago, we were playing for a wedding, and it was in a hotel. It was somewhere in Fife, I think, if I remember. It was near St Andrews. But the whole place was like a fishing loch as well. The hotel was next to the loch, and you could go and hire a rod and catch all this trout in the loch. And not that that was part of the wedding, it was just happened to be where the wedding venue was held. But in the foyer for the hotel was this massive tank built into one side of the wall opposite the main reception, and it was up to head height, and it was full of all these trout, sorry, fishing around. God, I don't even know the name of the fish. Trout, yeah, fishing around. And I'd been taking my son, who was very young at the time, on a wee camping holiday, and I had this collapsible fishing rod in the car, and it's you can extend it out to full length, but it's got this rather evil three-pronged hook on the end. And for a laugh, one of the guys in the band, was Ian Anderson actually, said, "Go and get, have you still got that hook in rod in the car? Go and get it, and we'll do a joke photograph with you holding it over the tank with the trout in it." I was like, "Do you think the people in the hotel went, nah, that'll be fine?" So of course I went and got it, extended it out, got the three-pronged hook out, kept getting it caught in my ear and my trousers and everything. Anyway, eventually got it hanging out and held it above the big tank against the wall full of the fish for the photo, and suddenly the wee lever released on the, I don't even know what it's called, the reel, and it went whirring down, and the little tripod, the little hook thing went flying down into the water, at which point all four of the trout raced for it and got caught on one of the hook seats. I was like, ah! So suddenly I had these three trout in the tank in the reception. Luckily there was a couple checking in for the wedding at the reception behind us. So the guy working behind the desk hadn't noticed yet, but I was holding like three trout. I was like, you get them off! So he was leaning over the tank trying to unhook them, and managed to unhook them and throw them back in and dispose of the evidence. So there you go, kids. If you've got this is a dangerous thing, a rod. Don't muck around with it. If you're going to take jokey photos, make sure you take the three-pronged hook off first. Wise words from an experienced fisherman. Right. Okay. What am I doing? I'm faffing. That's what I'm doing. Oh yes, I know. I've got a tune called "I Laid a Herring in Salt," which is a wonderful tune. I've played before on this show, but that's no reason not to play it again. I've not danced in my wellies yet. That's an old pipe tune called I Laid a Herring in Salt, which is of course what you would do if you're going to lay a herring anywhere. Of course you would lay it in salt. Oh, hello there. Yeah, that's coffee. I don't think you like coffee, Toki. Now, I'm the main presenter. I get coffee. You're the co-presenter. And you get little mini bones and sometimes salmony snacks because you're a very lucky doggy. You're a little bit spoiled, aren't you? You're doing very well wearing your little raincoat. We can reuse this one, I think, for the vampire episode, which will no doubt be coming up because I'm running out of other ideas. JRR Hartley. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought I would have ever dressed up JRR Hartley watching that advert 30 years ago? Here I am. And it's uncanny resemblance to that old decrepit git in the armchair. Yes. Now we've only got time for one more song. A song. My God, what a great idea! Here's one all about the sea by the famous Waterboys. How could I have forgotten about this? JRR Hartley sings the songs of Mike Scott. Wish I was a fisherman. I'm a fisherman, tumbling on the sea, far away from dry land and its bitter memories, casting out my sweet line with abandonment and love. No ceiling bearing down on me, save the starry sky above. Light in my head. I wish I was the brakeman on a Heartland fever train, crashing headlong into the heartland like a cannon in the rain, with the feeling of the sleepers and the burning of the coal, counting the towns flashing by, night that's full of soul, the light in my head, you in my arms. This is how JRR Hartley would play it. Yeah, that's enough of that. I thought you deserved to not have to listen to the third verse today. Well, that's it. The show's pretty much over, folks. Thank you so much. That reminds me of when I was actually playing a festival somewhere in the very far north of Norway many years ago with Brechin, and the main act there were not us, but we were on the poster at least, but up there in the big letters were the Waterboys, and I was very excited to be seeing the Waterboys because I'd never actually seen them live before. And there was also another band there, a Norwegian band, who did like covers of folk songs and folk rocky stuff. They were called Highland Fling, bizarrely, even though they were Norwegian. And then what happened was the big night. We had first of all we had Highland Fling supporting the Waterboys, and guess what they did? Lots of Waterboys covers, and they did them absolutely brilliantly. They had huge band, 10-piece fiddles, accordions, just sounded exactly the same as pretty much as the original songs. And then Mike Scott came on after the break with the Waterboys, which was actually his new band that he kept the same name. They were still doing the same songs, but he had a rock drummer with like a 57-piece kit and a keyboard player, no fiddle, no accordion, and a grooving bass player, which was all excellent music. But to be honest, the band called Highland Fling actually sounded more like the original version. Anyway, it was all very interesting. Poured the rain whole weekend, magic trip. That's it for us today, folks. Thank you so much. Thank you from Toki, the co-host. Thank you from Mrs. Fluck, who's hopefully still flicking around out there. I'm going to invite her in for coffee right now. And happy fishing, folks. We'll see you next week with some other crazy idea. Goodbye. Wow, that was a fantastic show, Toki. Well done. Well done. Now, I've got a special treat for you. It's not this. No, you get a little bone. I'm going to have my fishy surprise. Oh, it's delicious. I love seafood. I just can't get enough of it. Oh no. Now let's that one again. I don't believe it.